Everyone, a grief-stricken woman from Alcoa called our newsroom saying that her boyfriend of some 20 years had died.
Now, she said there was no money to have his body cremated or to pay for a funeral. Her boyfriend, however, was a veteran.
Well, WATE 6 on your side consumer reporter Don Dare made some calls, and he picks up this story in East Knox County.
2 months after Alan Richardson died, the U.S. Army veteran is making his final trip, but he is not making it alone. Patriot Guard riders line the funeral procession, and an honor guard carries Specialist Richardson's urn in tribute to the honorably discharged veteran. It has taken a long time for the 69-year-old former painter to reach the East Tennessee Veterans Cemetery.
This is the hardest thing I've ever had to go through.
6 months ago, Kim Fox and Alan Richardson moved into this tiny apartment in Alcoa. He had been ill for months. Down in their luck, they were homeless, living out of their car when they moved from Cleveland, Tennessee. A local veterans agency found them this low-income apartment. Alan had volunteered and joined the Army 49 years ago. He served for 3 years.
He was always good to everybody. Of course, yeah, me and him argued a little bit, but, you know, why would I be with him for 20 years if I didn't love him?
Despite their long-term relationship, Kim and Alan never married, and that created an issue after he had passed away. She was not his next of kin.
Come on, bring it here, hurry up.
When Alan died on October 12th, Kim could not afford to have his body cremated. His closest relative could not be reached. The remains stayed at Blount Memorial Hospital until she could get the money.
What were you initially told that it would cost to have his body cremated?
$3,000.
$3,000. Money that you didn't have?
No.
Then you found another funeral home that could do it for less than $3,000?
Yes, sir. I believe it was somewhere between $1,000 and $1,200.
And that was still...
It's money I didn't have, and I lived month to month.
Yeah, nobody to stand up for him.
Except for one person. Kim.
Kim. Yeah, and she loved him with all her heart.
When she got in touch with us, 6 on Your Side made some calls. Kim didn't want Alan buried in a pauper's grave. In November, the funds were made available to take care of his remains.
And a group who wants to remain anonymous stepped up and paid for the cremation.
They did, and I want to thank them from the bottom of my heart. They don't know how much I appreciate this.
It's taken another month for permission from Alan's closest relative to have him buried with his fellow veterans. Still, Kim could not claim him because they were not married.
20 years, together, which not being married, that makes it kind of, still a sticky situation to be in when you can't even claim the body.
With permission granted from his relative, Alan Richardson received full honors at the Veterans Cemetery Chapel, a free service to those honorably discharged. Kim said she knew this is where Alan would want to be, with his fellow veterans. Surrounded by her small family, Kim accepted the American flag from a grateful nation. Witnesses were members of the Patriot Guard and other groups.
No veteran should take his last ride alone.
And that's why?
That's why the Patriot Guard and the Combat Veterans Association do this.
Army Specialist Francis Alan Richardson is now at peace. So is his special friend.
This has to be the saddest moment of my life, but I thank everybody that has come together and helped me out.
And a lot of people did. Under government regulation, only next of kin, a spouse or a close relative, can authorize final funeral preparations. Since Kim and Alan never tied the knot, she could not claim the body or make any decisions. Blount Memorial and the Veterans Cemetery sent certified letters to a family member of Alan's who approved the cremation and approved the burial site. Several people in between made it all possible, especially the anonymous donation of $950. And Kristen and Bo, without that donation, Alan would not be at the East Tennessee Veterans Cemetery today.
Well, it's great to see a lot of people, a lot of groups, all kind of coming together to step up and help out.
All right, Don.
Don, great job as always. Thank you. Hey, if you have a consumer question for Don, send him an email at ddare@wat.com. You can also call his 6 on Your Side hotline at 865-633-5974.